Now you're not seeing this video the wrong way round. I've put this sideways on to get it in shot, but I bought this second-hand kit off eBay and it's called the Fashion Designer Kit. Now I absolutely love these wooden mannequins and I like doing photography with them, but this is a kit where you get a wooden man and you get clothes patterns and fabrics and things to make clothes for them. Now I don't know how involved this is going to be, but it's a used item. Now after making the purchase, I saw on the listing that this wooden man has got a missing foot. Now this isn't the only wooden man I have a few of them. I have 4 others anyway, so you know I could use another one. However, I don't know whether to make a feature of this one with the missing foot, maybe turn it into a wooden doll, or maybe I completely remove the legs and arms and have it as like a dressmaking mannequin. I'm not entirely sure yet what my end goal with this wooden man will be, or if I can get a replacement foot. I have asked somebody who does wooden man photography, but they're foreign, on Instagram, and I'll see if they get back to me. So anyway, I'm going to get all these pieces out. I might cut bits out if there's any noise or any boring bits. Tipping it out. And there's a bit of packaging at the bottom which I could reuse. So I'll pop all the paper pieces to the side. So here is the wooden man, very much like the ones I have, but yes, a missing foot. How unfortunate. It looks like it would be very easy to pop one back on if I was to get a replacement for him. But yeah, he's a nice wooden man as well. Nice smooth face, because I've got one that's got a bit of a ridge in it really. I've sanded it down, but yeah, I can still see it on photographs and things. So yeah, so there's my wooden man. Maybe a long dress. Now there's this, it says cotton thread. So obviously I'm a crafter, I'm a sewer, I'm not short of thread, but yeah, it's always handy. I might keep those upstairs. I keep a lot of my hand sewing things upstairs, because I do a lot while I'm sitting on the bed, and yes, I might put those up there. I'll have a look at these. We've got these pencils and they've got the Seedling brand on. I think these are packaged and made up in New Zealand. So the other side of the world basically. So here's some nice coloured pencils. They might have been used already, or it's just broken. But if they have had use, they've not had a lot of use. We've got this bag, sandwich bag. Now I don't think this would have come in the kit. I think the person selling it to me has done this. Actually, I'll get these. Oh, there is. I thought there was no needles in there, but there appears to be needles. I don't think any have been taken. It looks like that has been disturbed a little. Maybe one has been used. I'm not sure. Let's pop this open and see what we've got in here. I see ribbon to start with. So a length of ribbon, maybe about just under 12 inches in length, an inch thickness. That's about 12 inches, I'd say. Maybe about half an inch or centimetre, something like that. And another thick ribbon that looks like it has been used. I think it's been stitched onto here. I tried to pull it out and it wasn't budging. So yes, how lovely actually. Somebody has done a running stitch. You can see it there on the back and they've stitched it onto there. So it's nice to see it's actually had a little bit of use. Maybe, but it's a shame they didn't really go any further with it, isn't it? So we've got those 2 squares. Maybe they were going to make a dress. I don't know. Okay, so they've obviously cut that piece up already. This is lovely. It's strawberry fabric. And it's definitely been used. Feels quite stiff sort of fabric. Maybe it's got a kind of, it might have a bit of polyester in it. It might not be 100% cotton. Maybe it's like a poly cotton kind of feel about it. Oh wow, is this got, what print is that? Bunnies? Yeah, none of this has been used. They're like, would you say they're like half a fat quarter? I'd say. Oh yes, there's like little bunny rabbits on it. Oh wow, I don't think I'd use that to make clothing because of the size of the bunny, but they might make some nice bedding or something, doll bedding. I could definitely see with that one. We've got this fabric. Again, it looks like a quarter of a fat quarter, I would say. And, oh, I love a gingham. An orange gingham, wow. That's really lovely, actually. That feels a bit more, not as stiff as the others, actually. That first one doesn't feel quite as stiff as some of the others. It could be that they've had a bit of starch on them, who knows. But, oh, yes, that's my I'd say my favourite fabrics are these. They're more to my taste, and this one. Those are my favourite. And again, that's similar size to those. These are my least favourite, but there's a time and a place for that kind of theme, isn't it? You know, height of summer is probably maybe. So anyway, let's have a look at the other items. So there's this A5 drawing paper. It is a bit damaged, the book. It feels very good quality paper, actually. Yeah, not, you know, thicker than printer paper. Decent GSM. So I'll pop that to the side. Like, I don't know if these are, what kind of pencils these are. I doubt they're watercolour. I suppose you could try, but I doubt it. Now we've got this guide, this hand stitching guide. It's showing you a blank. It says it's a blanket stitch. But oh no, sorry, it says back stitch. I was going to say that looks like a back stitch to me. It's me not reading it properly. Yes, it is a back stitch. It's showing you, they're calling that an overstitch, or you can call that a whip stitch. And then they're doing a running stitch. That's where you just basically go in and out of the fabric and it ends up looking like that. That's what they've used, what I was telling you on that piece where they've sewn some ribbon on it. That they've used a running stitch on that. I know that probably, you know, a lot of you know this that are watching my channel, but yes, not everybody will know, because some people that watch my channel are doll people and are not sewers. There's a guide to threading a needle. I'm not new to threading a needle, am I? So, right, and it's the fashion design tips. And it's telling you about drawing your designs first. I'm not going to read all that out now because it's quite lengthy, isn't it? and I'll come back basically after this framer video. I'll come back and I'll show you anything I've done. Now here are the patterns. They've shown you a skirt pattern cut on the fold, a long version and a short one. They're showing you a shirt front, a shirt back, a sleeve, long sleeve and short sleeve. And oh, and this is a skirt, so that's a skirt back and that's a skirt front. Now what I'm going to do is I'm not going to cut this up. I'm going to keep it. So what I'll do is I'll photocopy this and then I'll stick it on a cereal packet and I'll cut them out and I'll use them to draw around. It's however you want to work. If you want to pin them on, leave them as paper. If you want to draw around them with a pen or something, then obviously stick them to cardboard and they'll like last you a little bit longer then. So yeah, so I'm going to do that, and anything I do with this, I'll show you in this video. So I'll see you in a bit. Right, I'm back. Now I've been away and I scanned this into my printer. I printed 2 copies out at actual size. I basically glued the pieces to cereal packets. I keep all of these. Sorry if there's a bit of flicker of light there. Actually, I could add a little bit more light. Is that better? And basically, the long skirt I've done, and then what I did is to see the short skirts as well. With the second printout, I've cut the short version. Now the sleeves, there's a long and a short. So what I did with the second one, I cut out the small piece. I've got a short sleeve. Now the pattern pieces for the shirt front and the back. Now you can see from these that the opening is going to be at the front. The back is cut on the fold, so it's one whole piece, and the front has a front opening. But many times I prefer to put my opening of doll clothes in the back and have like a false front, really, if you wanted something. So I'm going to be playing around with these quite a bit, maybe even with the shape of the skirts, the shape of the sleeves and things like that. That's what this is all about. It's been a fashion designer. So basically what I've done is with the other set of these, I've put adapted. That's what I've scribbled in pencil. So basically this is both the shirt back. I've changed from cut 1 to cut 2 and I've added an extra piece, so that will be my back, but it will be where the opening is. It'll be an open back, and I've scrubbed out fold, you know, fabric fold, and then I've done the opposite on the front shirt piece. I've cut that little bit off and I've added a fold line, and I know that's my adapted piece, but obviously I can play more around with these anyway. But yes, but I'm gonna have a go at just doing the basic shapes and seeing how they fit the wooden doll, and yeah, and then obviously later on I'll make some adaptations to it. Okay, I thought I'd give you a little bit of an update. I'll show you what I've done so far. Is I've cut out a top. I've done my adapted pattern, so there's no opening at the front. I've got some sleeves, which I've used the short sleeve from the pattern. I've got 2 back pieces, which I've done my adapted one, so I've got an opening at the back. Now I think this is going to be a skirt. I don't think it's a dress pattern. I've used basically a bit of old jeans, a jean leg, and I've cut some pieces out. Now this is the skirt front. Now I'm just seeing, does it match up? No, it's much smaller than the waist of this, so I think it's supposed to be a separate skirt. So I'll just put that like that for a moment. Actually, I don't look, I've cut that very even, do I? That was cut on the fold, and that looks very uneven. Excuse my cutting, bear with me. Now let me have a look at my other piece. I bet I've cut too much off, but it was right. Never mind. It's got to match. Oh no, yeah, it does. They're a bit uneven now. I'm gonna have to get those to match. Unfortunately, never mind. But I've basically added a bit on the back piece. You're supposed to cut them both on the fold. The back piece, what I've done is I've added a bit and I've cut it into two separate pieces. So I'm going to put Velcro on the back of it. Now I don't know what the waist is going to be like, because I've never obviously put clothes on these wooden dolls before. So those are my basic pieces. Now I am going to jazz them up a little bit. Let me move them here so you can see them. Sorry about the mess. This is what I get like. Now on the top, I'm thinking of putting 2 layers of this along the front. If I just show you a little idea, I'm thinking about doing that along the front, like that, to add a little interest. And then the skirt, I could either add the same lace on the bottom, which would look very nice. I could even put a little patch on the skirt using this fabric. That's another idea. But I was thinking this. I was thinking this lovely edging on the bottom of here. So I might even use that. I don't know yet. So yeah, just watch this space. Right, I'm just popping back to you. How I'm going to sort this out is I've opened my front piece out. I'm lining it up with the edge of where they're going to be sewn together, and I can see the difference. So I'm just going to snip that to match like that, and I won't have a problem now. Right, I'm back. Now I've sewed the skirt pieces together. I must admit I haven't zigzagged or anything like that. I'm not too fussed about it. I could always put some fray check on, but I have done some top stitching either side of that seam. I pressed it open, did some top stitching. Now I've decided to cut a waistband. Now this is like 3 centimetres wide, and I've cut it on the bias. I've cut it way longer than I know I'll need, and then I'm going to stitch it to this around there. Now I tried this on around the doll. Now if I was to put this right up to her waistline, then adding that extra bit on would be too much, the bit that I added on. However, if you just drop it down a little bit lower, then you will need that extra bit that I put on. So that's probably one of the reasons I've decided to put the waistband on, and then I'll leave this as it is with the extra bit that I added. Right, I'll be back when I've sewn this bit on. Right, I've stitched this on. Now what I'm going to do is take it over to the iron. There's a bit of a thread there I need to trim. I'll take this over to the iron. I'll trim the excess off that I don't need. I will fold iron the seam allowance of the skirt up into the waistband. I will iron over a little amount like this all the way along, and then I'll flip it all the way over. Make sure I'm going past that stitch line I originally done like that, and then I can go back and stitch underneath there, and that will catch that. That is my plan. Okay, this is how it is looking from the front. I've basically done what I said when I last spoke to you, and I've folded it over so it's thicker this side, look. Now I'm going to stitch just under here all the way along, and then that will hold it in place. Right, I don't know if I'm going to take you through the whole process of what I'm doing here, because it might be a tad boring, but maybe I'll just walk you through what I'm doing with the skirt, and then I'll just crack on with the top, because that's going to be a bit more long-winded. But yeah, basically I've decided to overlock the bottom of this. It looks quite nice like that, actually. I would consider leaving it like that, but I have set my heart on putting this on. So what I will do, let me find the end of it. I will stitch it along like that, decide where I'm going to sew it, and then I'll flip it to the right side edge. So depending on where I decide to sew it, it will depend on how much of this will show on the other side. I suppose another way, if I want the whole thing to show, I could do this, which that looks rather nice. Or does it look like a lampshade when it's on like that? Maybe. Yeah, I'll make a decision either way. Right, here we go. We have a little skirt. So the Velcro's on. So let's see if, moment of truth, is it going to fit her? Peggy, should we call her? She's got one foot. Right. If luck would have it. Well, I have been having a little sneaky peek here and there, checking that, you know, that's why I decided on the waistband, decided where it was going to fit. Let me trim a little thread here. A few little scraggly bits. Probably need a bit of fray check maybe. So let's turn this around. So there we go. She has a little denim skirt. She's very nice. So yeah, we'll get her little top sewn up now. So basically, the basic construction of this, I've laid it out in the way. So first I will stitch these shoulder pieces together like that and like that, and then we'll put the sleeves in, and then, you know, I'll probably do the neckline and things, and then the side seam. So yeah, so leave it with me. I'll crack on with a bit of that. So I'll do these shoulders first. I might have to gather these before I stitch them in to ease them in. I don't know yet. I might even do something with the edge of these as well, something decorative. So yes, so leave it with me. Welcome back. Now I apologise for my last piece of video. I've edited, well, I didn't have to do much editing, it was just a case of piecing it all together, but there was a piece of video that was missing, and it was when I was talking about what I ended up doing with the bottom of this hem and the Velcro. And basically what I ended up doing is I stitched this on upside down in the intention of turning it over and then stitching it on the top stitching it. As it happens, I really liked how this looked, so I left it like it. I applied Velcro to both sides, and then I've always put the rough side on my left and then flip this over. So anyway, so there's that. Now regarding the top pattern, I had some rotten luck actually. Now I'm all sorted now, but I'll tell you what has happened. So basically that top didn't fit. Now it wasn't to do with the alterations that I made, because the only alteration that I made is I made the opening at the back instead of the front. So what I took off one side, I then added to the other. So it wasn't that. It wasn't going to fit, basically. It fits another doll that measures up much smaller. And I didn't know that to start with anyway, because I couldn't get it on. The sleeve wouldn't fit. So basically, I went back to the drawing board. I used my little pad that I got with this set, and I made a new pattern. So I think this is the one. I made this pattern, I made it wider. That was the only alteration that I made. But then I thought, well, that sleeve was too small. So I ended up doing quite a different kind of thing. I made like a drop shoulder pattern. Please excuse me, I've wrote raglan on it. It's not raglan at all, it's drop shoulder. So if you have a look at the original pattern piece, look at the shape. This is more like boxy on the sleeves, look. So yeah, I'll actually you can see how different they are. That's how much wider they look. And they're totally different here. So basically when you sew the shoulders together with this one, it would be like that. Well, it would overlap, of course. But then you have this here, like that. And then obviously you'd stitch it. Once that's sewn onto there, then you'd stitch those bits together. You know, if you've done a bit of dressmaking, you'll understand. So I did this, but unfortunately, even though I made this wider, I didn't make the sleeve wider. Let me get the sleeve pattern. Let me just grab it. I can't see it now. Right, I've got it on here anyway. So this is the original sleeve pattern. This isn't any wider. So this was still too small to go on the wooden man, unfortunately. Oh, excuse me, my husband is calling me. Right, I'm back. Sorry about that. My husband's at the shop. He's just, you know, asking things, what we need. Have we got this? Have we got that? So anyway, so unfortunately, it didn't fit. Now, I did make these tops that I'm talking about that didn't fit, and I'll get them. Now, the first one, using basically the pattern using this pattern, but just changing it to a back opening instead of front. This is it. Now, this is on top on a authentic Blythe body, a recent one, a Good Smile Company Blythe body, and I've also put it on an A-zone body, and it fits that very nice as well. Actually, I'll take it off and I'll show it you on the A-zone body, and I'm really delighted with it actually. Like, I'm not disappointed because I've got one for another, one of my Blythe dolls. It might even fit Barbie or Cindy, I don't know, but here we go. I've probably not, hang on, I'll just put this Velcro on properly. I need it a bit closer to me to get it right. There we go. So yeah, it fits the A-zone. Excuse me, there's no hands on this at the moment. I've got hands, but I use this for dressmaking purposes. So yeah, so that there's a little thread there, isn't there? I need to, although it's come off. So yeah, it's really beautiful, isn't it? And I love how it's worked out with the strawberries coming down the front. I've got a really, really beautiful top. I wonder if this skirt would fit these as well. Yeah, this skirt pattern fits the A-zone body as well, and I'll try it on the Takara body. Well, not Takara, it's Good Smile Company Blythe body. Sorry, it's a bit of a habit saying that. Yeah, it's a bit, got a bit of room, but yes, it does fit. We could put stick a top in there. There's a bit of room for that as well. So anyway, so what happened is, I'll leave those there. I'll hide a modesty for a moment. So then I made the top that had raglan on it. It's not raglan, it's a drop shoulder. Now, I made it wide enough for the wooden man, but I didn't make the sleeves wide enough. And this is how it turned out. Now, this is my Cindy. Now, you wouldn't have seen my Cindy on YouTube, on my YouTube channel. If you follow me on social media, you will have seen her. But I haven't done a video about my Cindy dolls. I did attempt one, an unboxing of this girl. But unfortunately, something didn't work out. So then I had to end up scrapping the video. But I've got 3 Cindy dolls. I've got a blonde, and I haven't unboxed the blonde and the other one, and one like a light blue colour, and this is my pink haired one. So she's wearing the drop shoulder. See, that's where the seam is there, and it fits her. So this body would have fit the wooden man, but yeah, it's just a boxy style, and it's on my Cindy, and she's wearing some Lily Ever After Disney shorts. So there we go. So I'll pop her there. So then I'll get my wooden man or wooden lady, and this is the pattern I've ended up with. So this is basically a set-in sleeve like the first one, not a flat sleeve, and I've just made it a 0.5 centimetre larger, and that was just enough to get it on. And yeah, it goes well with the skirt as well. It fits well together. So there we go. My wooden lady has an outfit. So thank you so much for watching my video, and I'll see you next time. Bye.